As we like to do here, Jared calls in and has some questions about Game of Thrones as we do our rewatch. We have reached season 6, episode 4, right, sir?
Yes, sir. Tonight we've got the Book of the Stranger, D&D writing. Our boy Daniel from last week back again for directing. Our poor director of The Glass House that nobody ever saw. Oh, that fact still makes me giggle. That poor man.
Poor man. Poor man.
But this is one of those interesting episodes where, as you said earlier, here on Blathering, that it teaches us the how and whys of fighting in Game of Thrones, and from many perspectives. From Jon trying to say his war is over, and his sister just pulling him back in. Theon on the islands, Dany out in via Dothrak. Just such rich themes in a show that doesn't have themes.
In a show, as Benioff will say, is not a high school English essay. And I've always thought Benioff is, quite frankly, a little bit of a liar. The show is so rich with themes. This episode jumps out at me. It is one of my favorites of the season, and I did the rewatch getting ready for this episode, and I just kind of forgot how much I love the episode, because in a show that is 8 seasons of who's going to win the throne, who takes over the kingdoms, how do we defeat the Night King, houses fighting, it is a show that is about power, and power is power, and how do you win, and how do you actually solve things. How do you actually maybe get your way? Every scene in this episode is about characters trying to find the best way to not just win in terms of dominate, but to actually solve situations, to actually, bring peace to the land in some areas, or to save people in other ways. The whole scene taken directly from, as Benioff and Weiss have said, taken directly from history and Abraham Lincoln when it comes to the Civil War and slavery in this country. You have Tyrion in Marine talking to the men from Slaver's Bay and how to end slavery. And, well, we'll give it 7 years. And you have Missandei and Grey Worm and their experiences. You have that scene and what's best. How do we actually solve this problem? How do we, actually eradicate slavery for good? And is negotiation acceptable? You have that. You have, I don't want to run down the list, but even, going back to the Iron Islands and Theon returning, and he's weak and broken. He's going to stand behind his sister. His sister's got this strength. You have everything going on. Speaking of sisters with strength, we cannot overstate how much I love that it's Sansa Stark that is like, pick your face up, you morose, sad boy, emo boy, Jon Snow. You had tough time fighting. You're exhausted from fighting. We're going to go back, get our house back, and we're going to figure that out. It's a powerful.
Sansa really finds herself in this episode.
Really finds herself and sets her up. This is where she goes. And Benioff says at the end of this episode, in the postscript little section there, this season 6, is about the theme of rebirth. So themes do exist in Game of Thrones. He says it. And this is an episode that I think it is the cross section for a lot of these characters and how they move forward. And even Cersei and Jaime coming to the Queen of Thorns and Olenna and Kevin Lannister of like, we want to defeat the High Sparrow. Here's how we could do it. Do you want and Marjorie and the game she's played with it. Every scene is about how and why we fight, and it all leads to one of my favorite moments, Jared, and I want to get your opinions on it. There are a lot of great Dany moments. Character we love, a character that has, a hard time just getting her goals out there. A lot of people resist her goals and dreams all through the show to the bitter end. Going to Vaes Dothrak, and how do I get out of this? We have Daario and Jorah can't fight physically anymore, and all the stuff with Daario being, kind of rude to my guy Jorah about some of his experiences with Dany.
Hey, he's just being Daario.
He's just being Daario. But the moment where she's like, no, do we escape? No, or we'll never get out alive. But I know how to actually solve the problem. I know actually how to do it, and it ends with Dany burning the cows and in the temple, and I think underrated. It's over the top. It's shot a little different. There's that almost Evil Dead kind of view when she throws the flames down and the flames rush up on one of the cows. I think other big moments with her. The end of season 1. I think when she gets her army was an Astapor. Like, I think those are some of the bigger rock star moments for her. And this one maybe doesn't get ranked as higher, but for me, it's actually one of my favorite. The conversation she has with those calls, the conversations she has with even the Dosh Khalid, like it's some of my favorite Dany stuff. And our girl solves the problem, Jared. She solves the goddamn problem.
And what I love most about this scene is it's great proof against those season 8 haters who don't understand Dany's turn. I'm like, look at what she does here. She is convinced that she is the only one who knows the way. Anyone who stands in front of her will burn. The city of King's Landing stood against her. They didn't accept her. Cersei just, and this is just literally like, how much more spelling out do you need? She burned them down, and then everybody just bows to her, thus validating her action. And also just that quick little side thing. I do love how the burning things go from just nice coals or wood in the chasm to when she pushes it, somehow they're like liquid and lava.
She's flinging flame. Look, I agree with you. And this is a moment that I cheer for Daenerys Targaryen. This is a moment. This is our girl, our queen, our Khaleesi. And that's what they've always said, is along the way, every step of the way, I think she burned and eradicated the world of bad men, and you were supposed to cheer her, but also we didn't take time to just question where it would end up. And it all makes sense to me on a rewatch, which is why I like exploring the rewatch. And again, it doesn't mean that to me that the ending is all about her doing something bad. It is about finally a world treating her bad and not accepting her. And that's not what she wanted to do. She wanted what was in the Red Keep. She wanted to save all the people, as she always did along the way. Because she does it in this moment. She saves the Dothraki.
No, it does. It's just, and with Dany, it's that wonderful, to me, complicated thing of, it's a combination of a world not accepting her, but it's a world she feels entitled to.
Yes.
You know, Jorah told her the best blunt way was, I believe it was Jorah, Aegon didn't conquer Westeros because he had a claim. He did it because he wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really, like, you have the claim because you have dragons.
Indeed. So one of my favorite episodes, one of the final things I want to talk about here, Jared, though, is, and someone mentioned it in chat, is the reunion of Jon Snow and Sansa, which is really emotional. I remember watching it the first time and kind of getting a little teary-eyed. And we know that these characters never actually had a scene together. They were around each other and everything, but you go back, they didn't have a scene together. And I just love that we were so invested in the Starks. We're so invested in these characters' journeys that take them to wonderful places and horrible places. And they have to go through just these tremendously bad things. And then they have this moment, and it's so warm. It's so just rich with emotions. And it was the first time they were on screen together. I think it was one of the bigger accomplishments of season 6.
It really is. And it goes to reward the show for how much character and depth and lore that they've put into the show that you don't see necessarily on screen. So when they talk about how Sansa was a bitch to him growing up, we didn't need to see that. We believe it on Jon's face when he just kind of smirks and goes, yeah, you kind of were like your mother.
Yeah, you were indeed. Well, Jared, thanks for taking me through the episode. It's one of my favorites. It was a great rewatch. There's more to dive into. These are shorter rewatch discussions here. Yes. I might return to this episode down the line. Next up is season 6, episode 5, right?
Oh, yes. God, are we ready to cry?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Is it that one? Is it that already?
It is time for the door, my friend.
We're going to hold that door. Okay. All right. I'll gear up for that. I'll, get some tissues to cry into.
I was going to say, should we have Alden on standby for you in case you need to?
We might have to. There you go. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate it.
Of course. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune in for the live shows with Ken and Alden as well, guys.
There you go. Appreciate that work there.